People call gratitude good manners, but it's not that. It's a switch that can rewrite reality.
A switch, as in not motivational talk, like something that actually changes how life unfolds?
Exactly. Ancient teachings hinted at it, and neuroscience is catching up. Consciousness, thought and emotion, acts like a force, not decoration.
So when people say, just think positive, that's too shallow. The real question is, what is thought doing under the hood?
It's shaping prediction. Your brain is a future simulator. It doesn't just remember the past, it constantly generates what it expects next.
And when we want something badly, the simulator often runs a shortage story.
Not enough. Not yet. I'm behind. And the brain treats that as data. It starts interpreting the world through that frame.
Like predictive coding. You don't see reality raw, you see what your brain expects, then it fills in the rest.
And that's where gratitude is misunderstood. Gratitude isn't pretending everything is fine. It's an emotional signal that tells the simulator the outcome is already arriving. Safety, completion. We can move forward.
And because emotion is part of the input, the brain logs it like a real experience.
Yes, that changes neural circuitry, especially the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus link. It changes what gets encoded as my likely future.
So gratitude isn't a mood, it's a code line, a command.
A command with consequences. Even reward circuits respond. Studies show dopamine activity rises when people practice gratitude consistently.
Which means the brain feels rewarded and repeats the behaviors that led there.
Right. Gratitude turns small progress into a recognized win. That keeps action alive instead of collapsing into quitting.
And it also shifts attention, doesn't it? The brain's filter.
The RAS, Reticular Activating System, your internal search engine. If you keep thinking lack, the filter hunts for proof of lack.
Like buying a certain car, then suddenly you see it everywhere. Not because the world changed, because the filter did.
Gratitude inputs a new search term. Support, opportunity, enough, next step. Same world, different signals pop out.
And that affects choices. If you can detect chances, you take them. If you can only detect threats, you freeze.
Which leads to the body. When people live in shortage simulation, the nervous system goes into fight or flight.
Sympathetic mode. Tight chest, shallow breath, narrowed thinking.
Gratitude shifts the autonomic balance. It supports parasympathetic activation, especially vagal tone. HRV tends to improve with sustained practice.
Higher HRV, more flexibility under stress, more access to creativity and problem solving.
So far, it sounds like brain science. But the deeper claim, shared by old wisdom and modern physics language, is this. Everything is energy. The universe, matter, the body. At the base level, it's vibration, frequency.
People hear that and think it's poetic, but in physics terms, atoms aren't solid little balls. They're fields and probabilities, patterns of oscillation.
Exactly. And biologically, we're not separate from that. We're electrical activity, chemical signals, electromagnetic patterns, always moving.
So when we talk about consciousness, thought plus emotion, we're talking about a pattern of energy too, a state, a signal.
A waveform, in a sense, not mystical, functional. Because a state influences the body's chemistry, the nervous system's rhythm, the brain's selection filters.
And when the inner signal changes, behavior changes, relationships change, and the reality you live in shifts.
But there's an even sharper bridge people overlook. Experiments showing emotion can affect the field around our physical biology, down to DNA behavior.
You mean those studies where DNA responds differently depending on emotional states?
Yes, but let's say it cleanly. Some lab demonstrations reported that when subjects generated coherent emotions, like appreciation, the measured response associated with DNA changed compared to stress emotions.
The big idea: emotion isn't just in your head. It corresponds to measurable changes, signals that can alter biological patterns.
Right. Even in mainstream biology, we already accept a close version of this. Stress versus safety states shift gene expression through hormones, immune signaling, and epigenetic pathways.
So, whether you describe it as wave coherence or stress chemistry, the direction is the same. Inner state changes the body's output.
And that's the bridge. Ancient wisdom said, change your inner world to change the outer world. Modern science says, change your neural predictions, your attention filters, your reward circuits, your autonomic balance, and your biology and behavior follow.
Which means fate doesn't hit you as much as you think. A lot of it is the momentum of a signal you keep broadcasting.
And gratitude, real gratitude, is a specific signal. It carries the frequency of already received, not desperate to get.
That's why people who chase hard can still feel empty. Their inner broadcast stays in lack. The wave doesn't match the life they want.
Exactly. The conclusion is simple but not easy. If you want to change reality, change the wave state of thought and emotion first.
Because that wave shapes prediction, attention, reward learning, nervous system rhythm, and even downstream biology like gene expression patterns.
And we're not talking about forcing a smile, just a small practice at the end of the day. Name 3 real things you received, tiny wins, support, moments of warmth, and let the feeling land for a few breaths.
Not to be positive, but to tune the signal, to close the loop in the brain and stabilize the body into a higher functioning state.
Because when your signal changes, the world you can notice, choose, and build from changes too. All right, I'm looking forward to the next mind reset. Thanks.